Quick little disclaimer before we get started on this news video. This video is going to be talking about the Nuremberg Toy Fair, which is currently ongoing. At the time of this recording, there are very limited pictures of the BIONICLE display, so I'm only looking at one in particular. But over the course of the next 24 hours or so, more are likely to be released. So I'm going to continuously update the description as pictures are released. So if you want to see the most up-to-date news, just check the description, and if there are more pictures, I will update it. So let's get on to the video. Hello everybody, and welcome to some incredibly exciting BIONICLE 2016 news. Today, the Nuremberg Toy Fair began in Germany, and pictures of the BIONICLE 2016 summer sets have begun to emerge from the event. There's not a lot of photography, as we mentioned before. Photography is limited at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. We're going to get really great pictures at the New York Toy Fair in a few weeks, where we will actually be attending and covering that event, but for now, this is the best we've got. And we can actually see the sets, even if they are a little small. So, let's get into it. 5 sets. We've known this for months now, thanks to LEGO.com's online database accidentally revealing the names of these sets way back when. We've got Lava Beast, Storm Beast, Quake Beast, Ekimu the Mask Maker, and Umarak the Destroyer. So, where to begin here? The picture is a little small. It's a big picture, but the sets are, they're not great. They're not close-up views of the actual sets. They're just a picture of the overall display, but we'll go left to right. Ekimu the Mask Maker. He looks to be just an upgraded Ekimu who, as many predicted, has now become Toa-sized. And he's got a lot more transparent light blue. Almost a little too much. And I have a feeling a lot of people share this opinion. He has a transparent blue mask of creation, a transparent blue torso, armor piece, transparent blue hands, transparent blue upper legs, and I can't really make out his arms, but I'd be willing to bet he has transparent blue armor there as well. That's a lot of transparent blue. Personally speaking, I don't mind it. I would rather he have a transparent blue mask than a gold and transparent blue melded mask, because that limits the use of that piece quite a lot in mocking. It restricts it to 2 colors. So this is fine by me, but maybe the torso armor could have had some gold on there. I think it does actually have gold printing, but maybe it could have been gold. That would have balanced out the scheme a lot better, but whatever. I'll be honest with you, Ekimu doesn't look particularly interesting to me. He looks well built. He looks well made. He has a more coherent visual design than, I think, the $15 Toa of the Winter Wave right above him. He screams more coherent to me, but he's also not that interesting. He has his same exact shield from 2015, except now it's like light blue instead of silver. He has the waist function like all the other Toa. His main interesting point seems to be his new hammer, which I can't make out the details on all that well. Moving up next to the right, we have Lava Beast. This guy looks pretty interesting, not gonna lie. He looks really weird. He has some horns of some kind that use Bow-Rock eyes, and he's got clawed fingers, clawed hands, but he also has 2 sword pieces pointing backwards that look like they can spin in some way. They look like they can move. I don't think they're fixed in position. And he looks to have the Skull Villain ribcage piece in transparent red, which again we've got before, and some really interesting looking legs that I have a feeling I'm not going to like all that much. They use Glatorian necks as lower legs stuck into a socket joint, and it's really confusing. I can't say I've ever seen a set with that lower leg construction before. Time will tell if it actually works out well in the end, but I'll be honest with you, I kind of like how this guy looks. When I first saw him, I didn't think I would, but as I'm looking at him more, he actually does look pretty cool to me. Storm Beast, moving up next to the right, is a little bit of a strange case because on the one hand, he looks really simple. Lava Beast kind of does as well, but Storm Beast in particular, nothing particularly stands out to me about Storm Beast. There is a tail with a shadow trap on the end of it. That's cool. I like that design choice. The clawed hands, that also looks pretty cool, but the way they're done, I'm not sure will end up working out for the best. They just use a protector foot, the Invasion from Below Small Beast foot, and they leave an exposed socket joint, and then they have the fingers clip onto that somehow, but it doesn't really look all that great to me personally. I think there's a more elegant way they could have pulled that off if they really tried. So I'm not too sure how to feel about that. But otherwise, I mean, the set's cool. There's Metro Blue. There's plenty of that going around. That's nice to see that color return after Kopaka. I know many had feared it would only be seen in Kopaka United of Ice. So, nope, another Metro Blue set. More pieces for that. I think Storm Beast, I think he's fun. He doesn't particularly stand out as me as being interesting, but aside from the hands, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with him. He looks cool. Quake Beast, I'll be honest, I don't know what to make of him. This picture angle that we have that I'm actually looking at right now, there may be better pictures by the time this video is uploaded, but from what I'm looking at, he just looks like a mess of purple, and I really can't tell much about him other than that he's asymmetrical, and his right arm appears to be pretty bulky, and his left arm doesn't. He has a mace of some kind. He appears to have Umarak the Hunter-esque legs, coupled with the Borak eye on the knee and the Hordika neck going down to the lower leg. So that's interesting. I'm going to need to wait for better pictures to actually make a claim on him. I'm sure you can see our coverage of them on the next episode of the TTV podcast. We're probably going to go very in-depth into these pictures. So that's a thing. And then finally, the biggest set of the wave, and the biggest set, apparently, for the whole year, Umarak the Destroyer. Oh boy. This set, I have a feeling, is going to be pretty controversial amongst the fandom. Because on the one hand, he's huge. He looks really, really nice. He's big and bulky. He's got cool-looking lower legs. And he really is... I think he's going to end up being the biggest set G2 has had so far. He almost reminds me of General Grievous, and I'm hoping he will hit that height. There are certain aspects of his design, like the legs, that really scream that kind of aesthetic to me. And yeah, he's certainly imposing. He's certainly big and cool looking. It's not so much the set itself that bothers me, so much as it is in comparison to Umarak the Hunter, who is right above him on this photo I'm looking at. So the comparison is very plain. There are some aspects of the design that they carried over, and they do deserve props for that. The feet with the toes coming off. The general design of the lower legs, even though they have been changed quite a lot, you know, with the Borak eye at the knee and the Hordika neck going down to the foot. The upper leg armor is consistent. The torso armor, the ribcage piece, is also consistent. He's got shadow traps on his shoulders. He's got the chain coming down from his torso armor. That's pretty much it, though. And though that is a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, there are clear parallels between Umarak the Destroyer and Umarak the Hunter, so I can look at this guy and say, wow, he's an upgraded version of Umarak the Hunter. But the color scheme really, really rubs me the wrong way, because it is transparent neon green, the shade they use on Bohatu and the stone characters, coupled with black, and that's it. Don't get me wrong, I prefer it to transparent red and black, because at least transparent neon green is kind of a shade of green, kind of like his Hunter variant had transparent bright green, I think it's called, or apple green, I'm not sure which. But at the same time, that color scheme was way more expressive. Umarak the Hunter had black, transparent neon green, not transparent neon green, transparent bright green, and Metro red, coupled with a little bit of brown and dark tan. And that really gave him an interesting visual design, and it was a really different color scheme than we've seen from basically anything ever. And I look at this guy, and he has none of that personality. Unless I look really hard and point out subtle design cues, I could not say this guy was the same character. He doesn't have his antlers, he doesn't have his same colors, he doesn't have his cool weapons, he just has clawed hands, which aren't nearly as interesting. And, quite honestly, that's all I have to say. I may sound overly negative, but I really liked Umarak the Hunter. I thought he was a fantastic set. This guy also looks to be a fantastic set, but not necessarily a fantastic interpretation of the Umarak character. That's just my opinion. I guess it'll be cool to see if they explain what that trans neon green color actually means. Maybe it's something he got infected with in the story. I honestly don't know. There's probably a reason for it that will explain things, but I'm not particularly enthralled by this guy. I looked at Umarak the Hunter and I said this guy is one of the most unique Bionicle villains we've ever gotten. I look at this guy and I like generic Hulk monster with clawed hands, question mark. He's a fantastic looking set, but not necessarily as Umarak. However, my opinions may change when I see better pictures, because photography is not that best here, because it's just an overview shot. And the final thing to note with this guy is he wears the Mask of Control, and he has these giant horns sticking off, and at first I wasn't sure what they were supposed to be. But then I actually looked closer, and I have to realize they're the side horn tusk things, whatever, that are on the Mask of Control, I think. It's like he put the Mask of Control on, and it mutated and it stretched out and elongated itself into this freakish mutation. And that is really cool. I quite like that aspect of things. So, that's the wave. 5 sets, just like last year. One other thing to note that I haven't got to yet, all the sets besides Umarak come with another mask. Ekimu has what appears to be a transparent red and black Umarak mask, and then the beasts come with Tahu, Kopaka, and Onua's masks mixed with transparent neon green, which, not sure how to feel about that. Actually, I do know how to feel about that. Annoyed, because I cannot think of any instance where those color combinations will look cool in any way. And also, there's 3 of them, and 3 of them are missing. Last year it was a big thing. It was a big deal that Gali and Tahu were missing. Well, now Gali, Liwa, and Pahatu are missing. Not that you really need them in this weird color mix that doesn't really look all that great, but that's the wave. I'll be honest with you, I actually quite like the wave. I think more sets are successes than there are failures, at least from what I can see. Obviously, we're going to do further analysis of these sets in the coming weeks and months, and more concrete opinions will be formed, but barring a few weird things that here and there that I'm not particularly a fan of personally, I do think the wave in general is a success. We got the biggest set yet with Umarak the Destroyer, some cool looking beasts that appear to have some personality to them and are more bulky than the skull villains, and Ekimu, which I have a feeling is going to be hit or miss for some people. I personally like him. That's the wave. Stay tuned to TTV for more extensive coverage of the Nuremberg Toy Fair on our podcast, and stay tuned because we're going to be at the New York Toy Fair in a few weeks in February. And we're going to be giving you extensive coverage of every single Lego, not every single Lego theme, but most of the important Lego themes that you care about, and giving extensive photography and video coverage of them. And you can look forward to that. Until then, I'm Meso. Thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to leave your thoughts on the BIONICLE Summer 2016 wave in the comments section below, or on the TTV Message Boards at board.ttvpodcast.com. Goodbye, everybody.